and hear what the politicians are doing as they go about their campaign. Some saying that this is bordering incitement. This is very dangerous statements being thrown about. The rhetoric, as you pointed out, will change in the end. We still vote along tribal lines. We still get influenced by our own, and they know how to turn us against each other. Do you think that your declaration, is there anyone who's living up to that declaration as we speak?
I think there could be, but the key is I want them to sign it first. You see, I can't even blame them for a standard that they haven't agreed to. And watch this, there's something that allows them to communicate in this manner. Whether it's the past, whether it's the historical perspective, whether it's the people don't demand them to communicate in a different way. And so it's hard to expect them to do something that they don't have to do. Most of us have jobs, but we don't sweep the parking lot. Say it again, Dr. West. Yes, most of us have jobs at different restaurants, but we don't go out and sweep the parking lot. Why? Because that's not what we're required to do. But the people who are required, they go do it. And all I'm saying is, why do you expect them to do something that people aren't requiring them to do? Understand that they work for you. You don't work for them. And so if you require a higher standard, they will meet it. These people are brilliant. They're so brilliant that they use whatever you need to get elected. And if you need to be incited, they use that one. And if you need to be ignited, they'll use that. And if you need a confrontation, they'll use that. But if you demand civility, they'll use that.
So basically what you're saying is they are not making the decision. They are just using what we give them to go forward.
Isn't it the case?
So it's us.
Isn't it the case? It's us, yes. It's the everyday person who, that's why you have to vote. See, I talked to some people and they said, you know, I'm not voting in this election. Why not? Because I voted before and we voted for roads and we voted for this and that and we didn't get it. It's not the road's fault. You can't blame the target for not being hit. Come on, somebody. You can't blame somebody tweet that. Somebody tweet that. You can't blame the target for not being hit. It's the person's job to hit the target. So don't blame the fact that there was no road or there was no water. Blame the person who promised you the road or the water or the new school. And then blaming them is irrelevant. Vote for somebody who will do what they say. Civility is doing what you say you're going to do, and the minute you know it can't be done, letting the people know why it can't be done. Watch, if I say I'm going to provide a road and 2 years in I come to you and say, here's the problem I'm running into, now I'm giving you a reason. Here's the problem I'm running into putting this road in. If I come back the next election cycle trying to explain to you why the road didn't get put in, that's an excuse and I'm not trying to hear it. And so we got to stop letting people bring excuses and start giving reasons up front, because if they give us the reason up front, now we can lobby to overcome that reason. But 4 years later, 5 years later, when you want to be elected again, it seems a little late. You know what I'm saying? It seems a little late.
But don't you think that, not you, because you've come in right now to help, but people like you with campaigns such as this come around only when it's time for elections? Can't we keep this going and sustain it throughout the 4 years prior to an election in order for people and politicians to be accountable from the get-go? Why wait until the last second for accountability?
Exactly. But let me even correct you. We shouldn't keep it around for 4 years. It should be the standard. See, we don't teach math for every 4 years. It's the standard, so we teach it to everybody. My goal is not just to have civility during the campaign. It's before, during, and after the campaign. And then whoever wins, whoever the people decides, because I heard P.L. Lowe say that democracy is where the minority has their say and the majority has their way. Whoever the people decide, I want to work with that candidate, that new president, that new administration to make civility as part of the civic education all throughout the country. So 4 years from now, we already know what to look for in a candidate. Yeah, let me tell you something. You know, in the United States, they say our divorce rate is about 50%.
It's crazy.
50%. But no, it's not crazy. What's crazy is that most people who get married go through premarital counseling, but they've already made the choice who they're going to marry. You can't out-counsel a bad decision. You should get the training, premarital counseling, before you ever make the decision. Because once you made a bad decision, there's no counseling that's going to help you out of that decision. You have to know what to look for before you ever start looking. So we have to train the people on what to look for in civility before it's ever election time, before they ever pick a leader.
Can I tell you what you just did in that statement?
Please.
You just answered and killed off arguments of whether or not we should have children in school being taught actual sex education from this person not touching you here early on. Not wait until they're grown up to teach them about protecting themselves, about diseases, about using condoms. Waiting until then is late. Like you said, start now.
Well, here's something. This is not complicated. Would anybody want to have a pilot that hasn't learned how to fly the plane before they take off? I don't think so.
What are you supposed to be doing? Motivating me to think or motivating me to believe I'm an idiot who needs to go back to school? I'm not sure which one you're doing here.
I think we all have the capacity to think at a higher level. But what happens is we get in a process. It's the way it is. It's the way it's become. And watch this. I'm going to say this again. Remember, I said you can't blame the target for not being hit. So if the candidates haven't been taught civility, if the candidates hadn't been taught integrity, not because they decided to run, but from when they were in school. Oh, watch this. Most of us learn integrity from our parents. Most of us learn civility from our parents. We teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. So you could tell a kid anything, but you could be up speaking even at a church or a synagogue or whatever, Monday through Friday, talking about these principles. But if you go home and you don't live them, then they understand that those are just words. And so when they see you do it, they accept it from the politician too. So if we're going to have a standard, it should be set at home.